2023 Resident Association meeting, the first of the new year. Thank you for all coming today, and also acknowledge all those who are still in their pajamas in our Zoom land. We welcome everybody. And we'll begin our meeting here with a moment of silence. Thank you very much. And as we start out, the first thing I want to do is introduce any new residents, anybody that has moved in here during the last month. I know we have Barbara Cathy. Is she in the audience? Hello, Barbara. Please stand up so we can see you. We also have Catherine and Madison Brown. Are they in the audience? They must still be unpacking. Is there anybody here that's never been at our meeting, first time meeting here? You're all old timers here. Good, good. All right. And of course, today is the, on January 18th, 1922, something occurred. A very nice thing occurred, and I do not see her. But today is Nancy Epley's 101st birthday. I know our man here in New York with her to help celebrate, and I'm hoping she's on Zoom. So let's sing happy birthday to Nancy. Happy birthday to you. A little louder. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Nancy. Happy birthday to you. All right, happy birthday, Nancy. We expect to see you here next year at the same time for your 102nd birthday. A little shake up in the agenda today. Bob Gettys is going to give a little update on Kendall College. He has a very important meeting which supersedes this meeting, so he said he needs to leave right after. But anyway, so Bob.
My apologies for getting early. It is my pleasure to announce the very first Kendall College program of 2023. It will begin next Wednesday. Our presenter will be Dr. Ryan Kendall from the Cognitive and Behavioral Science Department at Washington and Lee University. He's an expert on sleep, and that will be our top sleep research. So I hope that you all saw the announcement yesterday, and you will sign up for this this program. It'll be January 25th, February the 1st, and February the 8th, and on those succeeding Wednesdays. And as usual, it'll be start at 4:30 in the afternoon. And all residents, as well as staff, as well as guests to the marketing department, are welcome to participate in this Kendall College series. I said it'll be 3 lectures. The first lecture is going to be on what sleep is and why it's necessary. He will explain for us, Dr. Kendall, what goes on in our body and our brain while we're asleep. He also describes sleep from the perspective of the human body and the brain, and outline the reasons why we spend approximately 1/3 of our lifespan sleeping. During the second lecture, he's going to talk about sleep and how it changes across the lifespan, describing how we sleep, when we sleep, why we sleep, and how it changes as we age very significantly. And in his final lecture on the 8th of February, he'll focus on sleep and its impact on mental and physical health. Here, he'll get into things like the association between anxiety and sleep. And he'll talk a little bit about depression and sleep. And on the physical side, our well-being, how it affects things like obesity and cardiovascular diseases. So I think you're going to find this a very interesting Kendall College presentation, because it's an activity we all engage in regularly. The registration forms you got yesterday in an email. It's $10 for the full 3 lecture series. Checks should be made out to the Kendall Resident Association and placed in Linda Dwyer's campus mailbox. That's 316 Sunrise Ridge. I just want to close by saying that I'm up here today announcing this particular Kendall College, but the Kendall College Committee is teamwork, and teamwork at its best as far as I'm concerned. Ruth Woodcock is our historian and reminds us of what the original values of the program are every meeting. She also has an article in this month's Connection, so I hope you'll read it because it'll tell you how Kendall College came about and how it's evolved over the years. That'll be very interesting. And of course, we have Arden Marion, who's our Grand Master of the committee and keeps us on track as we go ahead on these kinds of things. He'll remind us if we don't meet our benchmarks in organizing one of these sessions. And that's a very helpful role that he plays in our activities. And I also mentioned Linda Dwyer. Linda's the one that collects the money and keeps us on track as far as that. So anyway, it's not just me, it's not just Hardin, but it's a whole committee that's working on these kinds of activities. I hope you appreciate it. Thank you very much. We hope to look forward to you. Ted.
These articles in the February issue, not the one you've got now.
Yeah, it's coming up in about a week and a half. Come on, Ted, when?
2 weeks. It's my issue.
2 weeks. All right, very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Just remember, if you attend this class on sleep, you have to stay awake all the time. But it's a very good program. And if you take Kendall College courses for the next 15 years, you get a bachelor's degree awarded by Kendall College. Nice certificate, whatever. But it'll cost you another $10 if you want the certificate. Anyway, every year I try to introduce our staff to different departments, and I'm going to start again this year. And for this month, we're going to introduce the maintenance staff. We've had a few changes, a few additions. And so if I ask the maintenance staff to come forward with their leader, Will, come on up. All right, just gather on together. And Will, if you could, I'll have each individual tell them your name, where you live, and how long you've been here, and what a great place it is to work.
I'll start off with a great place to work. This is a wonderful place. I'm Will, I'm the maintenance manager, and I live in Lewisburg, West Virginia. I've been here going on 6 months now.
Sean Suggs, Lexington, Virginia, 6 months.
Alan Bowyer, Rockbridge County, 6 years.
Highland Witten, Lexington, Virginia, I think 7 months.
Jamie Lipscomb, Rockbridge County, 3 years.
Robert Ayers. I currently live in Lexington as well. This is my 15th year. Going on 20.
Alan Bryant, I've been here, I'll say 19 years. And I'm from Rockbridge County, too.
Take a picture, so. You're small, the guy stand in the middle there. So. We all know Al Bryant has 2 more days left on his employment contract here at Kendall. And after 19 and a half years, he's decided to finally retire. And so we want to particularly recognize Alan on this last week of his work here at Kendall and congratulate him for all the hard work he's done during the past 19 years. That's almost as some people have been here that long. They've probably known Al since he began here 19 years ago. And what we did, Al, we asked the residents to give you a few cards to show their appreciation to you. There's about 500 cars in there. You tell the general why you retire there. And anyway, we want to show our appreciation for you working here that many years. And then we have one other little token. And of course, we can only give tokens out. You know, we can't give big gifts out. So we have a token. You can see it's a small box. You know, you need to open up the box because these people want to know what that token was that we gave you from the residents here.
Can you step to the side of
Can they all see? I'll see you. There we go. The paper is cheap. I mean, it's very expensive paper, I think. A nice bow on top. I didn't put it there. It's something you always wanted. What is it? Oh. It is a mug. What else do we have? And what's on the mug? It says retired, 2023. Not my problem anymore. Well, on behalf of all the residents, we appreciate all the work and thank you. Good luck to you in your retirement. I understand he's got applications in for 2 or 3 other part-time jobs. Thank you very much, maintenance staff. Thank you very much. And now, next on the agenda. What is on the agenda? We have our update from Jan, our CEO. So let's welcome Jan back. She's not at any meetings, so she's here with us today.
All right, well, Happy New Year, everyone. And we're still talking about COVID. So a little update, Borden currently has 4 residents on isolation, and we have 1 staff member. Independent Living currently has 2 residents with positive COVID tests. So all the symptoms really appear to be quite minimal. So for those of you who have not gotten the booster, they really do seem to be working. So I highly recommend you do so. Comcast. So you got an announcement, I believe it went out yesterday, that Comcast wants to replace all the cable boxes beginning on Monday, next Monday, the 23rd. We can't really give you a schedule, although I believe in the memo that went out from Felicia, they do kind of give you an idea of where they're going to start first. We are going to do our best to at least have 1 person going between, 1 staff member going between the 3 technicians. So we're not letting them loose in the hallways. So we will make sure that somebody is with them. There's about 246 boxes that they need to replace, so it will take them approximately 6 days to do so. What did I hear? Why?
Yeah, why?
Yeah, why? I don't know. Ask Comcast.
Yes.
Yeah, we haven't heard yet. Yeah, I really don't know. Yeah.
Note it said basic cable service.
Correct.
Literal, if we have the bigger box for recording,
Right. That's
just for people that have the lowest level service.
anyone who uses the basic cable from our bulk agreement, your box will be replaced for the basic cable. That doesn't mean DVRs and all that other stuff. The box for the cable.
And that's if you have both, if you have 2 TVs and one has the Kendall box and the other has the DVR.
Whatever Kendall box, they're going to replace the Kendall box.
It's a small box. It's no bigger than this. If you have a small box, that's what they want back and to replace. If you have the bigger box, don't worry about it.
Yes.
Can you ask them if they would also bring us an updated channel listing? But the newest one that Greg came up with is from 2016.
The marketing has one.
Yeah, marketing has if you want one.
Oh, okay. Well, I tried
Thank
Brittany.
you, Jessica. So the question was, can we get an updated channel listing? Yes, you can for marketing.
You have a lot of them, Jessica?
We can make copies.
Yep.
Okay, moving right along. I knew I'd get some questions on that one. I tried to get past it. but it didn't work. All right, so I want to talk a little bit about the CEO transition. You may or may not know that Sean Kelly has resigned as our CEO of Kendall Corporation. And Sean's last day was last Friday. So he has moved on, and Amy Harrison, who is our current CFO, Chief Financial Officer, will be taking on that interim role as the CEO and CFO. So hopefully it will be somewhat temporary, but Quakers don't move very quickly. I know how long it took me to come here, so I can imagine that it's going to be quite an ordeal. The CEOs are meeting at the end of January and February at the University of Delaware. So I will get to see the new Kendall Corp office, and we will probably be getting updates on that transition, updates on the affiliation agreement, which we still have not signed yet. And as Felicia says, wait 2 more years and it's 5 years and we'll just do another one. And overall system update. So hopefully in February, I can share more with you, but I look for that transition to take quite a while. And then I just wanted to share with you some of the focuses for us moving into 2023. I also have an article in the February Connections. Some of these things are included in that, as well as a look back on 2022. So moving forward into 2023, the Kendall restaurant is opening. We will begin with a soft opening for our residents and then open to their guests as we get all the residents that want to come through the restaurant. We're going to, of course, be focused on strategic planning. Strategic planning has become more of a perpetual thing as opposed to a 5-year plan, and we stick to that. As you well know, lots of things are changing within our industry, so we constantly need to be looking at where we are and where we're going. We will continue to focus on workplace enhancements, retention, and recruitment. The turnover numbers are down to 36.6% turnover from our highest point in 2021 at 67.5. So we have made some real strides in retention, and we will continue to focus on that as well. We're creating a mandatory staff educational calendar so that we are sure that training regulations are met and all the staff are current on all their training and competencies as well. All departments have scheduled monthly meetings. So every department here will be having monthly meetings and meeting with their staff to make sure that we set aside time for training. We will be recruiting for a controller position in 2023. Although we are not letting go of Felicia yet, we are being proactive in trying to find an appropriate replacement for her. We will continue to investigate the use of technology to lighten the load on our staff. We will also develop and implement a culture of accountability across all departments and working towards clear expectations to establish merit raises in 2024. So it will not be across the board raises. It'll be a merit raise based on expectations and where each individual staff member stands at the end of the year. We will continue our leadership and staff development training to continue and enhance the skills of our leaders, both current and future. We will continue to reach out in the community to build relationships and gain new partnerships. And we will continue to work with the resident committees and focus on Kendall at Lexington needs. So gives you a high level view. We were busy in 2022. I don't see that changing in 2023, but recruitment, retention, staff training, staff focus is still very much on our minds and will be what we're moving forward with. So that concludes my report, Mr. President.
Question?
Questions?
Quick.
Okay, there we go.
Thank you very much, Jan. No questions. So the next one up is Todd. Give us an update of what's going on, facilities, maintenance, whatever issues he has.
All right, good morning. We have been busy. I will try to hit just the top highlights for y'all. you saw the maintenance team this morning. That is supposed to be a team of Will plus 7. It is currently a team of Will plus 6. And at close of business Friday, that becomes a team of Will plus 5, which is very stressful for those of us who still have oars to pull on. I guess we'll do one in each hand as we try to make it work. The good news is we got a very large stack of applications when we advertised the positions that are open. We narrowed them down to a small group and have done several interviews. And I do think as long as the background checks come back good in the next week, we'll be adding 2 new team members. I'm very pleased with the crop of applicants we have. I think you'll see some new faces here very soon. And I hope they'll be good fits and good members of the team here shortly. So a little stressed about our labor pool at the moment, but there is bright light soon in the very near future. So the teams have been very busy doing in-house things that I suspect most of you all see, but there's been a lot of outside projects done as well. Some of the big ones are ones that took a long time. I'll just hit real quick. The first round of emergency roof repairs got completed in December. Not everywhere, but it was just the first round that we identify have to do right now. The Sunnyside porch repairs got completed as well. If you haven't been over there, there's new steps and new railings that you won't fall off or fall through, which I think is a big improvement. The Cox Hall entrance has been repaired. The fence problems around Borden have been repaired. A lot of outside projects like that have been moving. The big heavy lift for the maintenance team was the sprinkler breaks and leaks that happened. They were the high, I guess, low light, probably a better word than highlight of the Christmas season. I imagine most of you know, but I'll go over it real quick anyway. We had 2 sprinkler lines freeze and break and cause some significant damage. One was above the pool and one was in the front sunroom of Borden. The emergency repairs and mitigation are all complete. We're now in the process of the outside contractors coming in to do the final repairs, new flooring, new sprinkler heads, things like that. So I would say we're done the emergency response and now we're into the deliberate repairs and rehabilitation part of that project. I don't have a lead time yet. Everything's been signed and moving forward, but I don't know an exact date when Johnson Controls, for example, will be back. I recognize how high profile and high usage those areas are, so we're doing everything we can to minimize the impact on everyone's day-to-day activities and wishes. The pool will be able to remain open, except for the very short period we're literally working in the ceiling above it with power tools, because that's not a great plan to have someone in the pool. We're going to put a scaffolding on the side, and 2 legs of the scaffold will be in the pool, but only that lane towards the outside windows will be roped off and coned off. The pool will be able to remain open while we move forward with those repair projects. Several other big things for 23 are approved and funded, and some are already moving. I mentioned the first small round of roof repairs. There's about 100,000 square feet of new roofing approved for 23. So major new roofs are going on. The generator automatic transfer switch panel, which has been talked about for 2 years, probably a very, very long time, has arrived. We are working with 2 outside contractors to get that installed. When we put it in, it will require a power outage because they're up to those circuits. They are working directly on the regular circuits and the emergency circuits. So we can't give emergency power while they're connecting and doing the programming between those. It will be a pretty much 1-day outage. They say 4 to 8 hours. So it's a major coordination effort. It impacts Dining, it impacts Webster. It's not scheduled yet because all of those stakeholders have to get around the table and figure out a way to do that so everyone's life goes on with minimal interruption. But it's an important project. We have to get it done. It's emergency equipment that we want to work and work right. So as soon as we get those details ironed out, we'll make sure everybody knows. The employee lounge project is starting to move a little bit. There was a survey that went out about what people's desires for it are, and then we'll start working on some design shortly for that. The dining room grill repair is moving forward. The contractor for that will be coming. I don't have the lead time yet, but they acknowledged the sign thing that had a big price tag associated with it. So it's on their schedule, but I don't know what day they'll be here. They told me lead time was approximately a month, and that was about a week ago when we officially got that. Elevator number 2, the one over the service elevator that goes between near where my office is down to dining, is being modernized in 23. It's a very large project as well. Parts for that, the lead time is 10 months. But we signed it right in the beginning of January, as soon as we could. So it's moving forward. That will be offline for several weeks when they actually do that full modernization. But that's a long ways away. We'll have lots of meetings between now and then. I'll keep you all updated. But that elevator, basically the piston and the shaft and the cab stays the same. But all the controls, all the mechanical parts are all put brand new in. So it's a very thorough modernization to get that elevator up to current standard, current performance, current aesthetics, and current reliability. So we'll keep you posted as that moves forward. And the last big project I'll mention is the pet expansion. As most of you know, anywhere on the property, if you press your pendant, it recognizes that signal. It reaches the receivers. But we've added some outdoor venues, dog parks and trails and things like that. So we're adding some system components and some programming. So if you press that, it gives us an accurate location. It will say dog park. It won't instead report to the nearest cottage. It will say Hickory Hill Trail, not the closest house at Sycamore, like that. So I met with them 2 days ago. They think that's actually pretty simple to do. We're working on some mapping and programming plans now. So I'll keep you all posted as that moves forward as well. So we have been busy. And again, I hope to have a couple new faces very soon to introduce to y'all in the near future. I almost used my 10 minutes, but I have like a minute and a half left. So I guess I'm vulnerable to questions at this point. Yes, sir.
You said the pool is open, yet it's closed all weekend. Is there anything we can do to help have it available?
The question was the pool. I said the pool is open, but it's actually closed on weekend. That is correct. Because it's a break in the sprinkler line, we only have fire detection in there. We don't have a functional fire suppression system. What that means is the pool can be occupied and used only when there's a manned fire watch going on. And to do that 24/7 on the weekends is difficult for us. Now, some folks have come forward and said, hey, if we want to open this on weekends, we'll figure out a way to move on. So that came up yesterday, we're looking at that. And a lot of it depends on the scheduling. If they say it's going to take several more weeks, then absolutely we'll move forward with some plans to do a manned fire watch. If they say, oh yeah, we're going to be there Monday, we may just ask you for variance for one more weekend as we get through it. But I don't quite have that information. That's why it's only open when we're expanding. All right, thank you.
This is when they had that power outage for 1 or 2 days. Just stay in bed. Don't bother getting out until he tells us we have power, because we can't do anything anyway without power. But hopefully that won't last that long. Anyway, next up is Jessica for our marketing update.
Good morning, everyone. So many of you have read my connections report from January talking about 2022. I was really happy with how that went. You'll hear from Katie and Kevin as well. Not only did we have 15 closings, we had 1 internal move and 64 households joined the wait list by year's end. And they'll talk a little bit more about that. That's just spectacular. You thinking of my planning for 2023 was, is this going to be how it is for a while? Or was that just a catch-up year from having 2 slightly down years during COVID? We did very well, as you know, during COVID, high occupancy, a lot of move-ins, but our wait list applications were about, I would say, 10 to 20% off of typical. But to have them double like that in 1 year more than makes up for that. And they'll talk a little bit how we're doing in 2023, which is great. So again, we couldn't do it without all of your help. The reason that folks move here is because of the community they're moving into, the services they get from our wonderful staff. So thank you so much again. So just to update, we have Barbara and John Winfrey are moving tomorrow from their cluster cottage into an apartment, and their cottage we have a reservation for already, and that will be ready probably by June for someone to move into. Then we have another apartment at the end of December. we had 4 reservations. So a lot of things opened up all at once at the end of the year, which seems typical for here. We had that last year and many other years I've been here. But they were reserved right away. So Katie and Kevin had 4 people sign reservations right before Christmas. And also, since we last met, another person has decided to move into an apartment from a cottage. So I can't share names yet, but you'll be learning more about that. So for 2023, we already have 9 closings and 2 internal moves scheduled. And 2 weeks into January here. So that's what the budget says, is that we'll have 9 closings. But we actually have another cottage that's coming to us and another couple of apartments and cottages that we think are coming. So yeah, it's a lot. So that's wonderful. Get some new residents in here. And I thinking of 2023 as I'm hoping sort of normalcy. So we don't have any huge projects planned for 2023 other than to continue what we're doing. 22 was a huge year because we had all that going on that I just mentioned. Plus we had a whole entire database conversion. We had just launched our new website at the end of 21. This year, I just had typical marketing things on there, make some improvements here, improvements there, and hopefully just really focus on getting folks moved in. So Katie and Kevin, come on up. One other thing as they come up, I'll mention is we're starting our Zoom sessions, again, our Zoom events on February 16th. We're having a resident panel to talk about sports and fitness activities. So many folks are interested in Kendall for how much of an active community we are. So they'll tune into that. Katie?
Hello, I'm going to echo what Jessica said and say thank you to everyone in this room. I'm sure we're wearing out our welcome with some people I know in marketing, so thank you very much. That being said, December, we typically don't have people come in. And between the 2 of us, we had 19 tours and try-ins. And those people came from all over the place. Richmond, Charlottesville, Northern Virginia, Amherst, and Roanoke. And of course, our normal Lexington group. And then we had people visit from North Carolina, Delaware, New York, and Connecticut. So we're still getting the far reaches of this country. And it's so good to see all these new faces come in. And of course, they appreciate seeing all of you. So thank you so much for all that you do for our guests.
Good morning. I think they covered everything except one thing, which is wait list. Actually, Jessica mentioned that, but something changed for us at the end of 22. We raised the price of joining the priority wait list at Kendall at Lexington. The first increase since 1997. The price went from $1,250 to $1,350. 1,000 of that is still refundable or applies toward the entry fee. So anyway, we sent out an email to everybody in our database who is not already a member of the wait list and let them know in advance the price is going up. And 14 people joined in December. So during the whole year of 2022, we had 64 couples and individuals join priority wait list, which is more than double what we actually had budgeted for. So it was a great year of people joining the wait list. Every year we have lots of people who leave the wait list because they become residents, so they're no longer on the wait list. And we have some people who request a refund because they've decided they're not going to move here. So it's ongoing. We have to add more. We have to add more. We added a lot more last year. So we're up to a total of 182 couples and individuals on the wait list. 45 of them are on the ready list. We have 45 couples and individuals who say, when you offer me the apartment or cottage floor plan that I want, I'm ready to move. So that's why it doesn't take us very long when a place does open up. Thank you again for all of your help.
Next up on the agenda, Brittany Smith will talk to us about whatever she's going to talk about.
Thank you. Good morning. So just wanted to give you all just kind of a be on the lookout. In the next week, in your in-house mailboxes, you're going to be getting copies of your current file of life or emergency transfer form. That's the form that should be kept on your refrigerator in your little red pouch that says file of life. This is the form that we would use in the event of an emergency. So that way we can send with emergency personnel your information so the hospital EMTs have a little bit of information about you. In the next week, you're going to get that copy and there will be an email sent out with a link to sign up for an appointment with me or Danielle, and we're going to go through that file of life with you. So just be on the lookout for that. We hope to have all of those stuffed in envelopes and in your boxes in the next week. We're going to do them in several batches. So some folks may get theirs before others, but just keep an eye out for that email and that information in your mailbox. And we'll be doing those appointments on Friday afternoons, each Friday in February. But if that doesn't work for you all, just like we've done in the past, you can schedule a specific time to meet with one of us to make sure we have that information all up to date for residents. Any questions? That's it.
Thank you, Brittany. And next we have Judy. All right, you have 3 minutes.
Good morning. Good morning, Zoom folks. Are you still awake out there? I got a couple of head shakes. Well, Jan took my fire. Thanks a lot, boss. Appreciate it. So the restaurant is opening this tomorrow evening. We have 8 reservations. Friday the 20th, we have 14. It's a slow start. I don't mind that at all, as we start moving in the direction of getting that rocking and rolling and ready to go. Effective today, please, when you come to the dining room, you will see a couple of new faces. We have 2 Ukrainian refugees starting with us today. They'll be in at dinner time because their translator was not available till 2. Bear with my staff, myself, I'm sure it's going to be a little frustrating. There's very little English, so do not be offended if they don't answer your questions. They're just not understanding it. The other thing they may do, and show you the phone. They have the translator on their phone, which is how we were communicating yesterday when they came to work and they weren't supposed to be here. So that seemed to work out very well. Please welcome them. First, Ola is the younger one with the blonder hair, and Rima with a long E, because I screwed that up, is older with the darker hair. So please make them feel very welcome. Bear with us as either I learn Russian or Ukrainian, or they learn English. So it's going to be an interesting ride. That's our update for staffing. The year went very well for 2022. We were over in revenue, under in budget, so that's a good start. We have a very good budget for 2023. Other than that, I don't have too much to report. Does anybody have any questions? Yes.
Judy, are the 2 Ukrainian employees members of there were 3 Ukrainian families who have now settled here? Do you know if they're?
Yes, they are. They're 2 ladies from
The first 2 families?
I'm not sure which and when they settled, but there's 2, they're sisters.
Okay, it's the first 2 families then.
Okay.
So the question was, do I know if they're from the first 2 or 3 families that have settled here in Lexington, Virginia? And the answer is yes, they are. Any other question? Great, yeah, yes, they live over in Houston Street. One has a license. Yes, Dorothy.
Quick question on the restaurant. If some of people here would like to make a last minute reservation for tonight or tomorrow night, is that feasible?
Question is, can we make a last minute reservation for tonight or tomorrow night? For this week, that answer is no, only because we're trying to keep all the costs down and prep all the food that we need for each evening that we're open. So I don't want to overproduce because I really don't have anywhere to use some of the product that we have in the restaurant versus what we have in the dining room. But we will look forward to that, and we will continue to add on to the foundation that we started with as we go through the year. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
The sheet that explains the restaurant policies
Yes.
says that if you're 5 minutes late for your reservation, you won't be seated and you won't get the food. What will you do with the food that you already ordered? That residence meal.
The question is if you're 5 minutes late, you won't be seated, and what would we do with the food if I'm 5 minutes late? We're trying to keep everybody on track. I tell you right now, I'll have a hell of a good meal that night. I might even find a couple friends. Anybody else? Just try and please be on time. We've had people that have reserved at 6 in the past and haven't arrived till 6:45. So we're just trying to keep everything on track as we get older. And we had a test run last Thursday. Everybody was 5 minutes early. How about them apples? All right, everybody, have a great day. Say hello to Ola and Rima, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you very much, Judy, and I think it's really nice that we have hired 2 of the Ukrainian members to welcome them further into our community. And next we have Wick Walker. Give us an update on the 3 North program.
Thank you, Paul. Hello, everybody. I hate following Judy.
I heard that before.
I'm sure you have. The 3 North Committee is continuing to implement some of the ideas in the long-range master plan that we got 2 years ago. And at the moment, there are 3 projects in the forefront. This year, we're planning to build a modest structure on Hickory Hill.
Close.
Swallow.
Closer?
Yes.
Thank you. So we're planning to build a modest structure up on Hickory Hill, and we envision an open shelter, a place where folks might want to take a picnic or spend an hour or so enjoying the magnificent views, and a place accessible by electric cart for those less visible. Excuse me, less mobile. We have consulted with staff at Borden and Webster to determine how they envision using the site. And we visited a garage-sized timber frame structure not far from here. So we have some initial thoughts about the size, style, uses, and accessibility. To share what we've gathered so far, and to get more thoughts from IL residents, we'll be holding 2 focus groups next Tuesday at 10:30 and 1:30. And if those are oversubscribed, we'll hold more. If you're interested, please sign up on the side bulletin board. And there are information flyers already distributed with a little bit more information on those focus groups. Not so far along in planning is the park proposed for the flat area that used to be Nielsen Village at the intersection of Kendall Drive and Spring Lot. The Wellness Committee is helping with a 2-pronged approach for this. First will be to initiate some activities there to get a better appreciation of potential interest and uses. There's already a cornhole set in the mysterious black box sitting in the middle up there. And I have proof that it has been used. As the weather gets nicer in the spring, we expect to see a lot more going on up there. Concurrently, starting from the somewhat grandiose suggestions in the 3 North study, we need to develop a comprehensive plan for long-range use of that area and the facilities that will be required. Shade and benches for sure, pickleball courts, who knows? For all this, however, help is needed. It doesn't need to be from within these committees. If you have a passion for seeing that wonderfully flat central site developed for the best uses of our community and a willingness to roll up your sleeves to make it happen, please get in touch. Research is also underway to plan the best management of the beautiful open grassy sweeps of our 85-acre campus. These fall roughly into three areas: the neat but costly lawns around buildings and interior areas, the natural meadows allowed to grow to provide wildlife habitat, like the hillside dropping down to Woods Creek, and a zone along the west boundary behind Sycamore Lane and on Hickory Hill, which we started last year to convert to native grass and wildflower meadow. This spring should see some finishing touches on the Hickory Hill walking paths and native grass and wildflower areas. Paul, do we have time for a couple questions? Sure. If there are any. Okay. Again, I wasn't nearly as entertaining as Judy.
If you didn't get any questions, it must be you answered everybody's concerns. So thank you very much, Wick.
Yep.
Next up is Diane, who's the new convener of C&E. So she'll tell you what's going on in the C&E community.
Thank you. It's fun to look forward to a new year, and we can actually go out and intermingle with more people and places in the community. So we're looking forward to activities. There's a couple trips to the Lenfest Center to see some programs. One is the rescheduling of the Miami All-Star Dance Group. So we're looking forward to that. Next week, we have scheduled a visit to the Golden Garden downtown as the dining out opportunity, and that is in celebration of the Chinese New Year. So by having some different activities, eating out, going to the Lenfest Center, having speakers here, going on trips, we try to schedule a variety of things for different people. We have the bus available for people to sign up, of course. If you want to go yourself, that's fine too. In February, we're going to go downtown and do some beer tasting at the Main Street Purveyors. Just kind of fun to be in a different place and to try something a little bit different. And we hope that's the first 3 trips there to try beers from Virginia, beers from the US, and then international beers. So we'll be doing that. We're certainly looking forward to the Kendall Follies tomorrow. Paul's going to talk more about that. And in February, we're going to have a karaoke night again. Dennis Bussey has the equipment now, so we can do it. We're going to move it upstairs here. So if you've never seen a karaoke, come on up and at least watch, and maybe you'll be moved later on to sing. What do you think, Dennis?
I guarantee they'll sing after the first hour.
And we have some more talks. So we hope that you'll look on the bulletin board, the side bulletin board, and the front one too, to see some of the activities coming up. And if you have ideas of something you'd like to see or do, or people to come here to talk, please let us know, someone on the committee. And we always welcome the ideas that you have, and we welcome people on the committee too. Thanks.
Thank you, Diane. I guess nobody had any questions of her. All right,
Right,
Robin.
one thing to add.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
she has it.
It just occurred to me that I didn't do it. Vic Crane has been showing some, oh, I'm sorry. Vic Crane has been showing videos for people on Sunday performances, live streaming. There's much more live streaming going on now, and it's a great opportunity. Something the committee talks about is how much do we schedule a program in the community when it's also going to be live streamed, because there's real advantages to being able just to come here for live streaming, but there's also an advantage to go out and to be in different places. So we'll keep on doing that. We appreciate feedback too for that. But keep posted. Vic is posting what is going to be up each Sunday evening. He has really chosen a nice variety of different kinds of programs for you to come and enjoy here in Kendall Hall. Thanks. I am done.
Thank you, Diane. And next up is Robin. She's going to talk a little bit about the art studio, wherever that is. She's going to let us know.
No, I'm not talking about trash.
Beauty, we're talking about beauty this time.
Beauty, right. Not from me, but anyway. How many of you know that there is an art studio here? Okay, the art studio is in the basement of Sunnyside. It's a small room. Believe it or not, there's a sign on the door that says art studio. And before COVID, several of us took art lessons there. And Sally, how long has the art studio been there? You would,
I think since phase 2, it was used for marketing for a while.
yeah.
We changed over, but since then.
And we were enjoying it, and then along came COVID, and it was conscripted for testing. And boxes were thrown in there. Oh, right before, it was repainted. We were, it looked nice, and we're going to move in. We got new lighting, new flooring, yay. And then it was conscripted for testing. And we haven't been in there for 4 years. Well, now it's been repainted, and Todd is going to have locks put on the door. And anybody who is interested in using it for painting, drawing, whatever your artistic interest is, please come and see me. Thank you. Any questions?
Are you gonna have a teacher?
That's undecided. We definitely can look into that. If anybody has any ideas for a teacher, let me know that also.
Thank you, Robin. And of course, not having any talent, I will not be seeing you in the near future here. Well, we have 7 minutes left allocated to the president just to go on and live streaming, whatever he thinks might be important. But one thing I want to say is the Staff Appreciation Fund, we exceeded our goal. We collected $100,013 for the Staff Appreciation Fund. We'll take a motion to vote that last check for $13, just bring it right over there. And I was a little concerned because 2 months ago, we only collected 31,000. And then in November, we only collected 51,000. But for some reason, people finally got out their checkbooks. I guess when they're writing gift checks to their relatives, they decided to write a nice big check to the staff, and they really appreciate that. We're purchasing a new shredder. I don't know if you know, there is a shredder in the alcove. We all know where the alcove is, don't we? Some people don't know, but it's that little, it's where the resin copy machine. So we're getting rid of that old shredder that somebody said donate here a couple of years ago, and we're going to buy a new shredder. So we'll be looking for that. And also if you test positive for COVID, please contact Danielle. I think it's important that she needs to know what the status of COVID infections are, not only in Borden and Webster, but also here in for the independent living residents. So even though you may not have serious symptoms, you just don't feel good, but if you test positive for COVID, please let Danielle know. And of course, she'll answer any other questions you might have. But it's very important that the administration knows the status of COVID at all times here in Kendall. Also want to let you know that I ate at the restaurant last week. They invited me in as the president, and I ate with the food committee, I think. It was an excellent experience. It was well worthwhile. They've done an excellent job in the restaurant. The food was great. It was, I had the steak, because I know the steak was the same price as the chicken, so I figured, why not? You know, so I had the steak, and the service was good. Brenda and Kelsey were the servers. The food came, obviously you pre-ordered the food, so it's ready to come to you. And it was, I can just say that it was an excellent experience, and I encourage all you to sign up and try it out. I think you'll like it. Nice tablecloths, white tablecloths, napkins, you know, and blue water glasses. I mean, just like a regular restaurant, like in the old days. And so I encourage everyone to go ahead and sign up during those open dates that we have to get everyone an opportunity to eat in the restaurant. And of course, tomorrow is the Follies, the Kendall Follies. We have gathered some of the great talent among our independent residents, and a few staff members are going to be here tomorrow at 3 o'clock, 3 to 5. It'll probably take us 2 hours to get, we have so much talent to show you that it'll probably take the full 2 hours. So be prepared. These are your residents, your fellow neighbors who are willing to step on this stage and do something, whether it's not professional now, so, we're not looking for critiques, we're just happy that we have residents willing to come up here and perform. Unfortunately, Jan can't come, because they scheduled the board meeting the same time as our Follies.
No.
Once again.
Rephrase that.
No, I think, once again, she had a choice. The board meeting or the Follies. And of course, Jan will not be at the Follies, unfortunately, but it will be recorded. Although I don't think that's a reason for you not to attend. It's always better to be right here in person, so you can see all the screw ups and mistakes that everyone makes up on stage here. But anyway, she can watch it on video, because it will be recorded.
Can she bring the board?
Can you? Yeah.
Instead, yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, if you get off early, just come on down here, you can join the singing and the dancing here, so. And in my regrets to the board, I'm supposed to attend the board meeting too, but I've made the decision to be here at the Follies, because I'm the MC, so I guess I have to be here anyway, but. The other thing is the new red book, not only are the revisions that the residents made in 2 of the chapters, but also the revisions that the administration made, they're all on tape. They're working, you can't do a word search in it yet. So you're gonna have to scroll through the whole thing if you're looking for something in particular. But they're working on that, trying to figure out how they could how you can do a word search to make it easier for you to answer one of your questions. But if you don't know about the red book basically is in 3 parts. The first is the history and the background, the history of Kendall, the development of Kendall, and the background of how we got here today. And then we have the bylaws. Those are the ones that the residents rewrote, the committee rewrote, that affected us personally as independent residents, and also the operational guidelines, which governs how we conduct business here at Kendall. And the third section is the administration operational guidelines, and that's their responsibility. It also used to include the roster of all the staff, the roster of all the residents, et cetera. And they obviously, you can find that some other place. So they reduced the size of the administration section of the Red Book. And that was their purpose, to reduce and make it more readable, usable, and functional for all of us. Obviously, the Red Book, we need to know what the administration guidelines are. And so that's what they attempted to do, and they made the changes, and they're all published. And if you read the new Red Book, occasionally some people do, I understand. And if you have any questions about anything in part 3, well, Brittany Smith is the one who will handle all your questions and provide you the guidance of why they did something or why they didn't do something. So you direct all your questions to Brittany, because she was involved in the revision of the Red Book. So I just want to mention that to you.
We're going to work on a summary of the changes so that you can just go to the sections that we let you know have changed substantially, other than just formatting.
Right, so Jessica just mentioned that they're going to also list the changes that were made in the Red Book. And so it make it easier for you to figure out what changes had been made without reading the whole Red Book. Although you're all encouraged to read the whole Red Book. I guess we should give a prize out to people who has read the entire Red Book, but that's something like, yes. And here's this.
Just one comment about the searching ability. You actually, if you know how to use the Control Command F function in a PDF, there's a rudimentary ability to search the one that's up there now. So you don't have to scroll through the whole thing. If you want to look up dog, you can hit that and put in dog. We're gonna improve that, but that basic thing is available, but only if you have a PC with a keyboard or a Mac with a keyboard. Doesn't work on an iPhone or an iPad.
Okay, so he's mentioned that there is a way to search a particular area. If you have a computer with a keyboard, you can type in F what?
Command F or Control F.
Control F, type in Control F, and you should be able to go to the particular section for that. So John has all the answers to Katie. If you have any Katie, no. Yeah, Katie, what am I talking? Yeah, Katie. So if you have any questions, you see John walking through the campus here every day. If you have any questions about getting on Katie or doing any searching, whatever, please contact John.
Or Becky.
Or who?
Becky.
Becky, of course. Becky's here Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. You know where our little office is, where the bank comes in on Wednesday and they tell Becky to leave and the bank comes in. Well, that's her office. So she's actively working on Katie, upgrading it and keeping it online for you. You have questions? Yes, sir.
Can we have a hard copy of it? Do you have to?
There are no hard copies. There's going to be 3 hard copies of the new Red Book. One will be in the library. One is in Brittany's office, so she has ready reference to that. And one is
Clinic.
where?
The clinic, Danielle's clinic.
Oh, in the clinic. So Danielle, so there'll be 3 hard copies if you want to visit them and read it in their office. Give you an opportunity, yes.
Can we print out the revisions and put them into our red books at home?
Can you print it? Can you print? No, you cannot. Best thing is to throw away your Red Book. So you don't get confused, because it's no longer valid. Yes.
You can always print out a PDF from your computer.
So you can print something?
Any PDF from a computer with a printer, you can print it.
Okay. You can.
But it's 95 pages long.
Yeah, you either get all 95 pages or you don't.
And if you need to get more ink cartridges, don't forget to.
All right. Enough frivolity here. I want to thank everybody. It's 2 minutes after 11. We never have our meetings go more than an hour if I can help it. And so far we'll be able to maintain that criteria. Thank you very much for coming. Please finish off all the fruit and scones. We had a pretty good layout spread out there today. So enjoy that and take it back to your apartment after dining.